you're doing. Hope everyone's well. It's a moderate day. I think it's going to pick up here in the UK today later. I'm hopeful. Okay, so before I start, actually, I need to thank all the people who've subscribed to my channel over the last sort of 3 or 4 months. Now, I know a lot of you come from the Facebook groups, Licks, Tips and Tricks, and all those little guitar groups I'm quite active in, and I really thank you all for coming over from them. And also those who've come over from the Line 6 Podgo groups. They've been really helpful. I'm glad you're enjoying the videos, and I thank you very much for subscribing. And I also thank the people who've just found the channel, you know, that's really, really good. Okay, before I start today, I'm playing this T-Bird Stratocaster. Now, T-Bird was a company that was based near me. Basically, it's one guy who was making these really cool sort of Strat and Telecaster style guitars. This is one of his guitars. If anyone's interested, it's up for sale. It's not actually mine. I'm helping a friend sell it, but it's an absolutely great guitar. Alright, so on with the sort of video lesson today. I'm going to do a sort of series on how to play the blues with a bit of spice, basically. Now, we all know that, well, hopefully most of us know that we can sort of, if we're in A, we can use the minor pentatonic all over it and it sounds good. So I'll set up a little loop, so let's hear the minor pentatonic. Okay, so that's all pretty good and it works through the whole progression. And it sounds great, you know, players like Stevie Ray Vaughan, often Gary Moore would often just sort of use that scale tremendously. Now that what they would do is use it all over the fretboard, which we'll cover in another lesson. But what I want to sort of cover today is that mix between major and minor. I think that really opens up your blues playing and it makes you sound like you know what you're doing, like you sound a bit more professional, I think. And it also gives you options, you know, it's quite a nice feeling to have more than just one scale to go at. So I'll show you what I mean. So here's the loop again. I'm going to start in major and it's going to go to minor. Like a kind of outline. It was not bad, but you know, just sort of hopefully showing you what we're trying to do. So the basic principles behind this are really quite basic. So over the root note, which is A on this particular vamp, we're going to play something called the Mixolydian Scale. Mixolydian Scale. Now that scale looks like this. And over the 4 and 5 chords, we're going to just play either pentatonic, which hopefully we already know, but I'll just run through that. Or we're going to play the Dorian, which is this. You might have also seen the Dorian played like this. Now, what I would suggest here is, if you don't know those scales, learn them, pause the video, and don't go any further till you know those scales, okay? So over the 1 chord, we're going to play the Mixolydian Scale. Oh. Over the 4 chord and 5 chord, we're going to play the either pentatonic or the Dorian. Okay, so let's just have a listen. I'll just run the scales through that. Pentatonic. Dorian. want to sort of aim for every time it goes back to the A to play the Mixolydian scale, sorry. Now what you can do to practice this is you'll be able to outline the changes without having them in the background if you use this process. So let's just take a few very basic licks from the Mixolydian, because that's probably the one that people are less sure of, because that's that major sound, okay? So what I like to do is use sort of these notes from the Mixolydian. Now we're going to hit the Dorian, back into the Mixolydian, into the Pentatonic or Dorian, what you start to hear is that the chords are changing around your lead playing. You're not then a slave to the chords, you are outlining the chords, and that's what we want a lot of the time. That's a very pro way of playing, I think. Now, there is guitar players who do just use pentatonics all over the place, and they sound absolutely amazing. So don't just get rid of that for this. That's something I did, and as my playing started getting a bit too robotic, I felt, and it was a bit too... I overthought things, basically, because in the heat of battle, you play what you feel, and if you're hearing a pentatonic, play it. You know what I mean? That's a very important thing to do. But once you start getting this into your playing, it just creeps in naturally, and it really sounds good. Okay, so now I'm going to just play again some very basic now. This is how I want people to learn. Mixolydian over the 1 chord, pentatonic or Dorian over the 4 chord. I'm going to go back to Mixolydian, because in the 12 bar it goes like this. Okay, so you do go back to that Mixolydian scale a second lot round, okay? You'll see what I mean, hopefully. So I'm going to keep it really basic. So the playing might not be great here, because I'm going to keep it really basic and I need to think about what I'm changing. But check this out. I'm just going to take some real basic notes. Pentatonic. Mixolydian. Dorian. Dorian. Mixolydian. Pentatonic. Okay, so that's the kind of principle behind it. I hope this makes sense. Best way to start this, I think, is practice in one area. So we're practicing in the very common A position. Now you can start moving it around. Now a few people, I'll just finish off with this, might know that if you move the pentatonic scale from your root position 3 frets back, you get this major sound, this Mixolydian. And that's another way to go. So let's check that out. Pentatonic. Once you get into this, like then I was starting to flow a little bit, and I'm trying not to flow, that's the purpose of this. You do start flowing, so it's actually very addictive, because hitting them changes is like a game. So yeah, enjoy that, guys. Basic principles from today though. Mixolydian for the 1 note, the A. Dorian or pentatonic over the D. Or pentatonic. Now I'm going to add in the flat 5s now. sounds really cool, doesn't it? It's probably the coolest sounding scale there is. All right, any questions, please leave them in the comments. Please do comment, actually, guys. I know obviously a lot of people are liking, but they're not commenting. Maybe they don't know what to say. Maybe they think I'm evil, but I'm not. I am bald, though, so maybe Dr. Evil resemblances. All right, folks. T-Bird Stratocaster up for sale if anyone wants to hear it or buy it. That'd be good. I'm not here to plug other people's guitars, though, really. Hope you get a lot from that video, guys. I'll finish off with a little jam. All right, see you in a bit, folks.